pudding,
Start
putting
saying
bags on their heads. Like, hey, you want this pudding? But no, so not only are they doing that, but I think there were like 5 or 6 men who basically cut themselves, like, to where they're unable to have children.
Cool.
Like,
wait, in this one?
Yes.
In Heaven's Gates?
Yes.
Dude.
Like cut it and like physically, not even chemically. And so like it came to a point to where they were like, you are not supposed to you're not supposed to either reproduce, or you are supposed to enter this next existence
without
the identification of gender, right?
Which, yeah, that's God, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I was looking up what most popular cults. I didn't realize this is on that list.
Oh yeah.
This is like top 4.
Oh yeah.
Like you've got like the People's Temple with Jim Jones. That was the one I was trying to think of.
Yep.
And then the Manson family.
Yep.
And then Heaven's Gates. And then the Branch Davidians.
Branch Davidians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's a weird one too.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting? I wonder how these companies, like their stock does whenever like what happened to like Kool-Aid stock after the Jim Jones thing? Like, did they ever address it? Did they ever like, I don't know, stuff like that's kind of strange.
Now we took the rice pudding.
That's how we made it.
Rice pudding is no longer created.
Right.
It's all gone.
Well, nowadays everything gets canceled. I'm surprised, that wouldn't be, I don't know, different when it's consumer stuff and you got enough money, I guess.
Well, and like the current cults, so the thing with cults is they have their kind of own community. They're kind of a walled existence.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they branch out into the rest of the world, it's either usually very destructive.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to recruit people.
Yeah.
And so they other than that, they kind of stay within their boundaries. And so like I don't know, like it's weird to say. You can't really blame the Kool-Aid,
I know that. I just think it's funny how like the second, we won't go into huge politics, but the second something happens, they want to point fingers and blame the object.
Yeah.
And
the means to the end.
So it's interesting to me that like that's never been like, okay,
I'll never drink Kool-Aid again.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like you think of like O.J. Simpson and like Ford Bronco.
Okay.
As very like those two. I think of Ford Bronco and I think of that case. Like
really,
and like, and that was kind of I don't know if that was during my time, before my time, whatever. But like that was never, Ford Bronco didn't go through anything.
Right.
I don't know. Stuff like that, it's just strange to me how like
I know what you're getting
we
at.
pick and choose the things that like we want to boycott.
Right.
And it just depends on whatever. Like businesses have been canceled, companies have been canceled, influencers have been canceled, like things just like go completely downhill because of like a certain thing that happened and it just killed the brand.
Right.
But some stuff it doesn't. Like, so there's this Gypsy Rose. I think that's her name. Have you heard of this case?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
I watched the documentary a long time ago, right?
Okay.
And like for those of you that don't know, like this like was a little girl who was kind of duped by her mother, I believe, into thinking that she had some type of illness.
Yeah, it
like,
was Munchausen's by proxy.
And so, yeah. So she thought that she had this illness, and like she would give her medicine. She kept her in a wheelchair. She had the appearance of someone who was pretty much bedbound. But she would do all these things. They would go to like, Make-A-Wish Foundation, go to Disney World, go to these conventions, go to all this stuff. And then the daughter kind of came to her senses, I guess, but started to kind of fight back and ended up finding like an internet boyfriend. Yeah. And convinced the internet boyfriend to come and kill her mother.
It wasn't even her convincing.
Like just told him like I need this to happen.
No, she straight up. So when she found the internet boyfriend,
mm-hmm.
they wanted to meet up.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they met up, he found out how bad her mom is and basically volunteered
Like, I'll do it.
to like kill her mom.
So that they could be together.
Yeah.
And
Gypsy was basically like, yes, this is my only way out type of thing.
And here's the thing that's weird. And we can go back. We can not talk about it anymore, whatever. The part that's weird to me is that happened. She went to jail as like an accomplice. Gypsy did.
Yep.
She served her time already. She's out already.
Yeah.
She is so freaking famous.
Yeah.
And it's like, what, from my perspective, hot take, but what kind of message does that send? Like, yes, the situation's horrible, but it's like, you are an accessory to murder, and now we're going to make you famous. Like, your crime was bad enough, and now we're going to make you famous. She's like hanging out with the Kardashians.
Oh, yeah.
Doing all kinds of stuff,
she's
dude.
She's a social icon now.
Bro, and I'm like, I get, like, you had a horrible situation, but it's just, like, it's so interesting to me how that is what consumers will be. That's where we're at in this society.
And that's the thing, though. Like, I think she does a really good job because she's definitely been PR trained. She's definitely
for sure.
Because every single time they talk about that situation, she always says, like, yeah, I did something wrong. I definitely don't condone my actions.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that the way that I went about getting free was the way that I should have done it.
Exactly.
So she does that, and whether she believes it or not remains to be seen.
And the reason I think this way is because of this magical cream that you can buy for $29.99.
$29.75. So
for $5.75.
Yeah, oh gosh. But no, so I think that that is very interesting. But I think to go further with that, you kind of have to wonder what measure of attention needs to be regulated, because it's so she received all this attention, like even back in the day when she was under the duress from her mom.
Yep.
Like, she received a lot of different types of attention. And that's part of the reason why Munchausen's is such a thing, because not only is so basically her mom is getting the attention via her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess you have to kind of wonder what measure of attention in this scenario is good or bad.
Yeah. Validation.
What is it feeding?
Yeah, for sure. And you think when you have all that stuff, it's just like, does it have to just check all the boxes in order for that to be what, like, I mean, people have said when you talk about a product, like, the market is the market. Like, whatever's going to sell is going to sell. It just is, whatever that is. Whatever that is. And so you've got, if the market is the market, and it's like, so for her, there was this, all the things had to check the boxes. And what was that? Like she was able to be a victim, or at least portrayed as a victim in some of this, because I'm not denying that. Like, yeah, that's an awful scenario.
Yeah.
And it was, the documentary was there. The attention was there. The whole story, or quote unquote, the narrative came out. I mean, it's just like, it just had to hit all these boxes to where then it's like, okay, here it is, everyone. What do you want to do with this information? And it was spearheaded enough that at least Kardashians or whoever took enough interest to say, you know what? This is a money-making machine, and we're going to do it. Same way with, what's her name? Bad Baby or whatever. The Catch Me Outside or whatever. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, it went from, she was on there for being like a terrible teen, basically. And then they just say, you know what? You're not a terrible teen. You're actually going to be the most famous person ever.
Well, and not only that, she went to the ranch. Like dude, you hear them talking about the ranch all the time. It's like, send her to the ranch.
Send her to the ranch, brother.
And she goes to the ranch, and she actually does really well. Like, her behavior has changed a little bit.
Yep.
And then she comes home to her mom, who's a psycho, and straight up, like, they go back on to Dr. Phil. And they actually, he removed everyone out of the audience.
Just them.
And her mom was like the one who was like spearheading name one person who's become as famous as she has. And she's like aggressive about it.
Dude, Bad Baby she like holds a record for like the most, like she's sold, it was like either top song or something like that, literally, of a female artist, like the most streamed or most something. Like
Wow.
she is the top. It's unreal.
That's nuts.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for showing up today. And
that was fun.
The bias. Wikipedia, it's all real. Nothing made up.
Nothing ever goes unlooked at by official people that do official things. So,
well said.
Let me ask you a question to close this out. Red or blue?
Blue.
All right, everyone. See you later.